All right, well, it's time to start. You guys get enough? Everybody get a syllabus here? Can you guys hear me? Apparently we're not doing social distance anymore. This is pretty packed in here. Sorry, guys. Intermediate accounting, you guys all familiar with the class you're taking here today or this semester? Well, before I today basically what we're going to do is we're going to look at the syllabus. We're going to look at sort of kind of an outline of what this course is going to look like, and then hopefully we'll get you guys out of here a little early today. So it shouldn't be a full hour and 15 minutes, maybe half of that, okay? Just so you guys know. Intermediate accounting, this is a financial accounting course. You guys probably, I think a prerequisite is to have an introduction to accounting. This is so you might have seen a little financial accounting, a little managerial accounting. This is financial accounting, which means what we're doing is we're producing financial accounting statements for a company. So we're trying to think about, this is for example, this is a 10K, which is an annual report that Apple files. This is Apple's 10K, so I'll pass this around. You guys can take a look at it. This is kind of what we're going to be doing in the course. We're going to look at the process that companies follow to produce something like this, which is a report to investors. So I'll just pass this around so you can look at it. I'll get this up on the screen. You guys all have the syllabus there. I'll basically talk through the syllabus with these slides. I got lost on my way. It's hard to figure out where to go in this building because there's like the first floor, but it's not the first floor. Anyway, I was trying to get here a little early, but looks like we're right on time. This is Intermediate Accounting 1, Management 3500. There's two sections, just to kind of. If you guys for some reason can't come to this section, let me know. The section after might have room. Although looking at this classroom, it might not work that way. But in the past, if I can't accommodate you in another section, I can try to do that. Because there's one right after this. So just quick, a little bit about me. I'm originally from Denver, Colorado. I worked at KPMG, and my client was General Electric. KPMG, I don't know if you know the big four, bigger accounting firms. I worked at KPMG, which is one of those. I got my CPA in Connecticut. I went to undergrad at Bucknell University, which is out east, and then ended up in the New York City area. Got my CPA and worked at KPMG. And then I went back to Colorado and got my PhD at Boulder. And so, mainly, I like sports, family stuff, outdoors. I have a little 3-year-old, so, if I start class with a picture of a 3-year-old or something, that would be kind of fun, maybe. I don't know. It's not accounting, at least. Something that's not accounting, right? Intermediate accounting, it's this first course in financial accounting. If you continue on the accounting sequence, the second part of this is Intermediate Accounting 2. It's 351. This is sort of the core financial reporting knowledge. It's a lot of the stuff we cover in this class is on the CPA exam, and one of the largest part of the CPA exam is the financial accounting section. So it's an important class. And even if you don't become an accountant, if you're in finance or something else, this course is important because you're going to be reading financial statements, especially in finance, to try to come up with investment decisions and things like that. And also, if you go into entrepreneurship, there's lots of ways where accounting kind of comes into play. Any business you work at has to keep records of what it's doing and has to report those records to investors or banks to try to get loans, to get funding. So that's how this course kind of fits in. The objectives of the course, you want to understand the objectives of financial reporting, which I kind of talked about a little bit there. In the next class, the second lecture on Thursday, we'll talk more about the objectives of financial reporting and sort of the broad overview of what we're trying to do in financial accounting. We'll kind of apply the basic principles of accounting. We'll talk about those in the next lecture too. And then we'll describe, so the majority of the class is going to be discussing how to prepare and analyze the income statement, balance sheet, statement of cash flows, and statement of retained earnings under generally accepted accounting principles, which we're just always going to call GAAP. So you'll hear the word GAAP. That's basically our rules for financial accounting. They're the generally accepted accounting principles. A couple other things I think, so those are kind of the basic things we want to do. We want to learn generally accepted accounting principles. How do we put together one of these financial reports that's somewhere out there. On top of that, it'd be nice to get an understanding of how regulators came up with these rules. So there's trade-offs involved in standard setting. So when they come up with financial accounting rules, what companies have to report to investors, there are sort of trade-offs between, one of the big one that shows up a lot is between providing reliable information and providing relevant information. So sometimes you get a hurry to provide information to investors to make a decision, and it might not be totally reliable, but the alternative is to wait too long and then you provide old news and it's not even relevant to anybody's decisions. So this sort of trade-off between relevance and reliability comes up over and over again. So we'll talk about these trade-offs that standard setters have to kind of balance when they come up with rules. And then finally, I would like you guys to have some kind of appreciation for the ability and incentive to choose from alternative measurement bases and procedures. So, when you look at financial accounting information, management has some flexibility with the numbers that they present there. So I'd like you to have some appreciation for that. And, when you look at these numbers, you're trying to come up with a forecast of how a company's going to do, just assuming that the numbers are all perfect might not be the best thing. All right, so that's kind of the objectives. Do you guys have any questions so far? I already jumped into this. I kind of laid out the course. You guys happy you took this course or taken this course? Hopefully, if not, let me know. The book is Intermediate Accounting. It's Kiso, Wygant, and Warfield. We're using the 17th edition. They just came out with an 18th edition, but like last week. So I didn't want to put the new edition and then not have people not be able to get it. So if you get the 18th edition, the newest edition, it's pretty much the same as this one, except they added some data analytics questions. I think that's the biggest difference. So maybe we'll introduce some of those questions, but the bulk of the book, what you read in the text should be the same material. There hasn't been a big accounting change in the last couple of years. So I'll show you. So there's this is the book. Oops. On Amazon. This is what it looks like. It's got the Bronx. I can't name the bridge. What's that bridge? Brooklyn Bridge, not Bronx. I worked in New York. All right. That's where I proposed to my wife too. I don't even know why I can't remember it. That's terrible. Okay. So that's the book, 17th edition. You can rent it, or you can buy it. The one thing I would say about this book is you'll use it in Intermediate Accounting 2. So we go through the first half of the book. Intermediate Accounting 2 goes through the second half of the book. And I'll make sure, I know the guy who's teaching the next Intermediate 2, Professor CEO, we'll talk about it to coordinate and make sure he's using the 17th edition. But if you don't take, at least in the fall of 2023, but if you take it in, maybe if you take Intermediate Accounting 2 in the spring of 2023, then you might want to think about, trying to get a hold of that 18th edition if you're going to buy the book. Because I think that's when we'll make the transition to the 18th edition is 2020. Next fall, Intermediate 1 will take the 18th edition, and then that's kind of how the process will work. But if you get the 17th edition, it's going to be pretty much the same, and I think you won't have any problems, even if they switch to the next edition. All right? So that's the book. Has anybody gotten the book yet? All right, we've got some people. All right. Let me know, and again, if you ever have questions, you can always email me, and this stuff doesn't work out. You can't figure out which book to get or whatever. Let me know. There are student companion sites for the last 3 editions of the book. I put the links to all 3 of them here. By the way, these slides are all going to be on Brightspace. So you should be able to get those. I'm always going to put the slides on Brightspace, so you'll always be able to follow there. Along with, well, I'll get to that. There's a little more. I'll put a lot of stuff on Brightspace. So I know there's like coronavirus craziness right now. So if people get sick, stay home, and everything should be, you should be able to follow it on Brightspace. You know, you can let me know. I don't grade attendance either, so I just want to make sure you guys are healthy and safe and all that stuff. So, but yeah, student companion sites. If you want extra materials, I wonder if these still work. I hope they do. You can go to these sites, and they have a little extra, maybe extra, you know, I think, like presentations, study guides. They have some extra resources for you if you want them. We aren't using Wiley Plus, but I think you should have enough material without Wiley Plus. And if you look at these things, you can, if you need extra material, you can go there. Any questions so far? All right, let's see, what else? All right, so, you know, I'm gonna do a couple things to try to accommodate if you have to stay home. The first thing is last year, I created these voiceover PowerPoints, and since the material hasn't changed since last year, I have those voiceover PowerPoints available to you guys. So I think it's kind of hard sometimes to follow, you know, just a Weathercast recording of a class. So I did these voiceover PowerPoints in addition to, hopefully it's a little easier to follow. They're kind of like the usual lectures that you would hear. And I think, you know, in this world where people are always absent and, you know, they're going home because of COVID and stuff, I think the best way to deal with that is to have you guys watch these lectures at home and then come to class and we'll do problems. So everybody gets the same lecture material, even if you're home or if you're here. But then here we'll do problems. We'll try to give you an additional kind of like sort of a flipped classroom. But I'll make sure I cover the material again here a little bit. I'll do a recap of everything. But you'll have the full video lectures at home so you can watch. You should try to watch those before you come in. We'll recap stuff when we get here, and we'll do problems when you're in class. That's sort of the idea behind the course this year. All this stuff will be on Brightspace. So, any questions about that? Try to watch the video lectures before class or read the chapter before class. I feel like either of those is going to give you sort of a similar overview of what's in the chapter, and then we'll try to come to class and we'll try to do as many problems as possible. But again, I'll do a quick overview of what's in the chapters too. All right? That's how it's going to be. Try to solve a lot of problems, field questions in class. You know, I think a lot of learning accounting is doing problems. So that's one of the biggest mistakes students make is they think that you can just kind of watch the lectures or read and not spend a lot of time on homework. Or homework is a really big thing. You need to do the work to do well on the test. So I would say making sure you know homework, go through the homework, do a good job, do these problems in class. I think that'll help a lot. So again, attendance is not graded, and you should stay home if you don't feel well. So, Brightspace, announcements, syllabus. I have lots of announcements on there. Syllabus, course schedule, lecture videos, class videos. Oh yeah, so there'll be lecture videos. So these are like voiceover PowerPoint lecture videos that I recorded last year. I'll put those on there. You should see them on there already. But I'll also put class videos. I'm also recording these classes, so you have these too. So, you know, if there's material like the problems that we go over in class, those will also dump into Brightspace. PowerPoint slides will be on Brightspace. Homework assignments and solutions are on Brightspace. And exams are on Brightspace. So everything's on Brightspace if you have, but I think you're going to get a lot out of coming to class. It provides structure. To me, you know, when I was an undergrad, I came to class and I thought, the biggest thing it did for me is forced me to learn the material. It's harder to get yourself to do it on your own. So I would say that is an important thing, but I'm not grading it. And clearly, this is for you guys, right? I want you guys to learn, and hopefully I'm adding something by having you guys in class, or if you guys are learning something by coming to class. So, but if you have to stay home, you have to stay home, and everything's available there. Yep, that's kind of our overview of how it's going to work. Right space. The grading, we'll have homeworks. The homeworks, exams. That's going to make up your whole grade. 20% for homeworks, 20% for each exam and final exam. There's 4 exams, so I like to do lots of exams because if somebody do badly on one exam, you can kind of make up for it later. I think that it's a fair assessment, a better assessment of people's maybe one bad day. If you have only one exam, you have one bad day on that exam day, your whole grade's shot. I like having a bunch of exams. So 4 exams. I have like the standard curve here. The standard grade percentages here. In the past, this course has been a little more difficult, so people have gotten grades that are a little bit lower. I try to keep it around a 3.0 average. So that's kind of, if you ended up with a really low grade and everybody got a really low grade, don't panic. It's kind of this thing where I try to keep it in a kind of 3.0 range. Homeworks are just on completion. So as far as doing your homework, I'm not going to grade everybody's homework based on whether or not you got the problems right. You need to turn it in. It has to be complete. I have to see that you gave a full faith effort to try each problem. And if you did that, you're going to get full credit for the homework. So everybody should get full credit for the homework as long as you made an effort to try to do it. This is totally an effort grade. But that's it. After you turn in the homework, I'll provide you with the solutions so you can go through that homework and study, and then for the exams you'll be prepared. You'll know what the answers are to the homework problems. The homework problems are going to be kind of like what you get on the exams, so it's good to study those. And again, I still only, to really make sure you guys get the homework grade, there's 12 homeworks, I'll grade 10 of the 12, I'll drop 2. So you have a little flexibility there. Another thing around exams, I'll have study guides with additional problems and things that look like an exam that you're going to get. So hopefully that helps too for studying. Just more material for you guys to work through for the exams. Sound okay? You guys doing all right? It's okay? You boiling lava hot out? It's pretty hot in this room. It's too cold outside, too hot inside. Exams, I posted these slides yesterday. Initially I posted it with exams will be in person this year, but then I decided we'll just do them online because I think it's just so uncertain. It's uncertain. We'll just continue. We'll do exams on Brightspace this year. This kind of works is you'll have maybe a 6-hour window to take the exam on an exam day, and just go on Brightspace and you can go through. It'll be a mixture of multiple choice and some short answer. One of the benefits of using Brightspace for an exam is I can give you kind of sort of a data-based question that I couldn't give you in person. So I can give you an Excel table, and you guys can kind of maybe do a data sort of type of question, which is one benefit of that. So that's kind of the idea. So they'll be on Brightspace. Information, so in the course schedule, so in the schedule we'll have exam on Thursday, February 10th, March 10th, April 12th, and then the final exam will be assigned with the university. And make up exams. I think when you provide them online, it's a lot easier for people to make the exams. So hopefully that accommodates anything. But if you need to make up an exam, please let me know. And if you have a good reason for that, I can do that. Please don't cheat. We'll try to do some stuff with the system. These systems. I can't remember the name of the one on Brightspace, but Lockdown browser. You guys got all the answers. This is great. Brooklyn Bridge, lockdown browser. That's the one. So we'll do something like that. All right. So office hours, Zoom meetings by appointment. Just let me know if you need help. I'll try around exams to have some just scheduled time and people can come in and out, like a scheduled Zoom session, so you guys can do that. It's great. I'd much rather have you guys come ask questions before the exam than after, right? I don't know why I put that up there. It's silly, right? And so I've had discussion boards in the past. Do you guys want discussion boards? Do you guys tend to use those? Anybody? Raise your hand if you like. I don't mean to point. Anyway, email me if you want them. That's probably the better way to do it. If you want a discussion board, I'll put one up. But I've noticed that people haven't used them a lot in the past. But that doesn't matter. I mean, if you like them, let me know. Okay. Suggestions for success. Make sure you prepare for and attend class. Like I said, I don't take attendance. I think, in these classes, you could do everything at home if you really needed to. I want to make sure that I can accommodate people who have to do that. But I think coming to class keeps you on schedule. You're forced to listen to the material. I think sometimes you can put those video lectures on in the background and play solitaire or, I don't know, go to ESPN.com, do whatever, and you don't really absorb it. But in a classroom setting, you have to look at me and listen to my stupid things that I say. So I think going to class helps. Understand the homework problems. Like I said, it's great on completion, but I'll send out the solutions. You can check over your homework and see what you got right and wrong. You can ask questions. That's another thing about coming to class is if you come to class, you ask questions and we can go through homework problems and get to the bottom of any problems you have with it. Study material, I like to highlight the things I think are important. So, before exams, I'll highlight what I think is really important. One of the really hard things about this class is, especially this first exam, the first quarter of the class, is really broad, and there's a lot of detail that you can get into. So, narrowing down the things that I think are important, I think helps students a lot, especially this first test. Try to narrow down what you should try to know for the exam. All right, and then ask questions. That's always good. I'm always happy to email. I always have my phone on me. Try to respond pretty quickly to emails. So that's always. I'm always happy to respond via email. And then office hours. You want to set up office hours, or come to class and ask questions, or if you see me, you can tell me. Ask me questions. That's fine. So yeah, I think those things really help. And then the final note, I'd like you guys to be kind of make it an inclusive, comfortable place for everybody. Just be kind to your classmates, right? So, do you guys have any questions about the general setup here? Yeah.
Will the exam be open book or closed book?
So I'm still deciding. I've done open book in the past, but then they end up being more difficult because that's the only way you can an open book test. I haven't completely. That's why the last year was open book. But if I use some respond as lockdown, if I do some more later, you guys should think about what you would prefer. Also, so I'll ask you guys when we get closer to the exam, and we can see what you guys want to do. How about that? Yeah.
So would you say for the test, just kind of make sure that we understand the homeworks is the main method for studying for them effectively, or?
Yeah, so with the test, it's going to be material from the homework, but also multiple choice kind of questions. So things we go over in class too. I'm going to go through tons of multiple choice questions in class. So the homework is not multiple choice. I think that's the hard part about translating the homework to the exam.
Yeah.
But it studies the same material. So if you know the homework, you'll get a number, but then the structure, the test is different. So it's going to be a combination looking at the homework and then the problems we do in class, and then the study guide. Right? I think that's all going to help. Yeah. Yeah. So, it's up to you. Some people have computers. Sometimes people follow along on their computers. Printing the slides. I have in the past provided the slides without solutions, so then you can follow along the test. So if you'd like, I can do that this semester. Okay, I'll do that. So then you can follow along, and especially in the slides, there'll be problems. So since we kind of flipped the classroom now, I can provide the problems. So there's two sets of slides. There's one set where it's just the lecture slides, and I'll go through those in the video, which you'll have before. And then there's another set of slides that's going to be problems. So I can provide that without solutions, so then you can work through it if you want to print those out. That's probably the best way to do it. Anything else? So I just really quickly, go through the schedule. So, this is today. It's January 11th. Introduction. Next class, we'll do the financial accounting conceptual background stuff. And then we'll talk about the information system, income statement, balance sheet. Our first exam is February 10th. The second is March 10th. And then you guys have spring break. Thank God that's back, right? That's better than last year. And then the 12th. And so, I guess this is kind of the schedule. If you can see, you kind of have a homework due every other class, and they're posted on Brightspace. I don't know if you guys. So, do you guys have any questions? If you go on Brightspace, if you guys have all done assignments on Brightspace, right? That's right. Okay, you guys are like grown up in this this Brightspace environment. So that's awesome. All right, so then I think you guys will be okay doing that. Anything else? Any other questions? I have one more thing I was going to I don't really have a ton more here for you. So here's what the questions will look like. So those are the slides I'll provide without solutions. So you can be able to kind of look through them. And then in class we'll go through the answers. Intro. I don't have too much more if you guys don't have any questions. You all right? Is everything okay? Let me know. We'll get down to business on Thursday with some material. Try to take a look at the video lecture before. There's 2 video lectures on chapters 1 and 2. And then we can get going with the course. All right?